Guys right in the back.
Yep.
Go ahead and start.
Nick, Greg Hunter, Blue and Gold News. So start with your familiarity with Darren. How do you interact? What kind of coach? Let's start with your evaluation of him as a coach.
Man, Coach DeVries, we go way back. So he was the first coach to ever recruit me when I was 15 years old while he was at Creighton. Ended up committing to Creighton in high school and then had some injury bugs, tore an ACL, and kind of went separate ways for college. And then he was the very first coach to reach out when I hit the transfer portal. So he means the world to me. He gave me a shot on the court, and then he gave me the shot as a coach. So it's been amazing to work with him, play for him. I'm in a fortunate position where I played for him, so I can connect with the guys of like, hey, this is what coach is looking for, things of that such. But he's an unbelievable coach. He works really hard to be where he's at, and I'm privileged to work with him.
You adjusted to West Virginia, so is basketball, or just the change outside the building? What's that like?
I think the biggest change is so I was at UAB as a player. We had a great fan base, but down south it's football heavy. At Drake we were at a small school. Fan base again was great, but now being in West Virginia, we hear it all the time. We moved out to Falling Water, of just the entire state is behind us. We've already seen that with the football, so that is very exciting to come play game day at Coliseum. Very looking forward to it.
Sports.com. When did you realize you wanted to get into coaching?
I would say just as a little kid. My dad was going on year 11, head women's coach at UAB. Before that, he was at Missouri. Before that, he was at Illinois State, and then high school boys coach. So I grew up as a coach's son and just wanted to follow his footsteps.
Some people would get pushed away when their dad's a coach, and maybe moving is difficult, all that kind of stuff. So were there times they said, I don't want to do that?
Yeah, my parents made it unbelievable experience growing up. 2 separate times when my dad took jobs, they split apart for 9 months. One stayed back with a sister of mine while the other one took me, and then another 4 years later, they did the exact same thing. But just being able to grow up in the gym, obviously I have a strong passion for basketball, so I look forward every day getting out of school and headed to the gym, being able to watch my dad work, and then falling in love with the game.
Coach Norton, Justin Jackson with the Dominion Post. You were at UCLA with Coach Alford, is that?
No, that is Corey Barnett.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Played against him. Yeah, played against him, but yeah.
So style of play with Darren and what you guys are teaching now, I'm sure, whatever talent you have, it has to revolve around that. But describe what style you think this is going to look like.
High-pace offense and grimy and gritty on the defensive end. One thing that I've kind of stressed as I've moved into a recruiting spot with these kids is like this is a coach that and a style of play that you want to be in. Offensive, he gives you all the confidence in the world to make plays, hit shots, and then he's going to push you on the defensive end and being physical and tough. And when you just come with that attitude every day, the confidence builds. We've seen it with our guys all summer and all fall, that their confidence level is just continuing to rise, and they're really, really looking good.
Greg Carey with West Virginia Metro News. You obviously have familiarity with his system. Many of the players don't. So how beneficial has that been, and kind of what has that been like, trying to mesh with some of the guys that have never played a game for him yet?
Absolutely. It's been awesome and a lot of fun for me because I feel I can bring a big impact to these guys with a new system. We have 14 new guys, 15 if you include Ofri, who didn't play for Coach last year. So just being able to relay messages, they hear it from Coach one way, and then they can hear it from me as well. Also, Garrett Sturt's on staff. Just a lot of voices that can connect with these guys, what Coach DeVries is really looking for.
Obviously the era of college athletics have changed with portal and everything, and so the way you go about building a roster now is completely different than 20 years ago. But do you think it's possible to have this many new guys come in at one time and be successful? Is that more difficult than maybe the process was 20 years ago or so?
It'd be hard for me to say what it is exactly 20 years ago, just because I wasn't in that coaching spot. But I will say the biggest impact, which helps bringing Tucker along, is just like our daily habits of drills, what the offense should look like, what defense, where they need to be position-wise. So having Tucker helps a lot, just because he knows the system, he's played in it. Like I said, to the coaching part of it, I can relay messages. So that would be the biggest hurdle, I would say, is just getting all 15 guys exactly what the system should look like and what kind of product we're trying to put out on the court.
Is that a day-to-day challenge? I mean, you see growth, step backs, and growth again. I mean, is that kind of...
Yeah, absolutely. Like 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing, which we know we harp on our details every day. We show it on film, and I'll say these guys have done a tremendous job of watching the film and then going out on the court and executing those mistakes that we saw the day before.
So many newcomers, harder to get them acclimated offensively, defensively, the same? Which is tougher to teach right now?
I would say defense-wise, just because it's all based on being connected. You got a guy on the ball, but you need those other 4 guys behind you. In their gaps, help side, just constant communication. Offensively, I love it. I played in it, like I said before, 5-out motion, everybody sharing the ball. That's offensively, it's just about guys sharing the ball, getting paint touches, and playing for one another.
Drake with him. So is this offense going to be identical, or because you have different pieces, is it going to look different than what you guys had before?
It'll look a little different. The last few years, we had a big fella, Darnell Brody, who was very dominant in the post. This year, we have Amani and Eduardo, who are different than Darnell, but same type of just split actions, paint touches, guys getting into the paint and playing for one another. So that will all look identical, and our pace of play will look the same. Even at Drake with Big Fella, we try to push the pace as fast as we could. So hopefully we see that carry over from Drake scoring in the high 70s, low 80s, and carrying it to West Virginia.
You were asked earlier about your own acclimation to Morgantown. What's it been like for the players? Getting used to it.
Yeah, for what I know, they love it. Like for me personally, like I said, moving into Falling Water and seeing the whole state behind them, I think they, as players, have felt that too. They've gone out to the football game, seen the energy, seen the fan base. So I think they're all super excited coming to West Virginia and seeing what it's all about.
Ryan Decker, Golden Blue Nation. Darren was just saying that the coaches are going to move around a lot. Sometimes we're guards, we're wing, we're bigs. Two-parter for you as a coach, do you like moving around a lot, working with all the different groups, and then put yourself in the players' shoes? Do you like having all those different voices?
Yeah, I think it's great. Just the more voices, because each guy hears things differently. So it really helps just hearing different voices at different times. And then as coaches, those are times you build your relationships with your players, so that when you do tell them stuff, they have a trust factor behind it, that they're telling you the most beneficial thing that they're trying to get across.
You moved in. You're married, right? Do you have a family?
Yeah,
as
married
well?
with a 1-year-old.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they getting used to Morgantown, Cheat Lake area, all those type of things?
Yeah, they are. They love Cheat Lake. We love the neighborhood. Everyone's been so welcoming to us, which is very exciting. So we're adjusting really well.
Except for sleep, I'm guessing, with the 1-year-old.
My wife has him on a really good sleep schedule, so I'm getting plenty of sleep, which is a blessing.
Anything else for Coach? Coach, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.